What would you think if I told you that you currently have access to an infinitely intelligent supercomputer that knows the answers to all of your biggest life questions? You can ask this supercomputer any question that you want, and it will immediately give you the answer. What if I told you you have access to this computer, you've actually been carrying it around with you, but you don't know that you have access to it, and you haven't been tapping into its full potential? You'd probably say, Adam, what are you talking about? Are you talking about my cell phone? Are you talking about the internet? No, actually, what I'm talking about is your natural human intuition. Intuition is almost like a superpower that every single person has. It's the ability to understand something immediately without the need to consciously think about it or logically reason your way to the answer. The thing is that most people don't actually know how to harness the full power of their intuition, so they basically live their entire lives in the dark. But in this video, I'm going to be teaching you how you can actually utilize this infinite supercomputer to its full potential. And this will make making decisions in your life a lot easier. You'll know what path to choose in virtually every area of your life, in your business, in your relationships, in your spiritual growth, in your personal development, and your health. Intuition is something that you can apply to every single area of your life, and if you learn how to do it properly, it will lead you down the right path every single time. The path that actually will help you to contribute to the unfoldment of your soul, and so that you can just live a happier and more joyful life. Now, human beings are naturally extremely intuitive. However, this is not really an ability that is cultivated in our society. In our Western society, there is a massive importance on reasoning and logical figuring things out in your mind. I was someone who loved things to make logical sense to me before I made a decision. So if ever I was faced with a choice, like what career to choose for myself, I would always think about it with my mind. I would logically try and put the pieces together. Like, oh, which career makes the most money? Which one is most resilient to economic crashes? And then I would kind of logically lay out all the different careers, and I would think, okay, well, this one here, the dentist, makes the most money and is the most insulated against economic crashes because people always need their teeth to be taken care of. All right, so I guess I'll become a dentist. And it's kind of a very dry, logical process. And we take this approach to pretty much every single area of our life. And the problem with this is that this is not a very integrated approach. It's basically like you're stuck in your mind, and most people are completely dissociated from their body. Now, your body has a very deep and ancient intelligence within it. You, in a split second within walking into a room, for example, within a split second, your intuition is already able to feel the energy of that room, to sense whether it's a safe place, a place where you actually want to be, or if it's somewhere that you should leave. So if you walk into a room and you see a dead body lying face down in the corner in a pool of blood, and there's a fluorescent light flickering, your intuition's gonna say, "Get me out of here." You're gonna say, okay, and then you're gonna turn around and walk out the door. So your intuition is able to crunch data instantly. And this is something that we often don't listen to. Many of you watching this video, many of you are very intuitive people, but you're not fully taking advantage of this intuitive capability. Many times in my life, for example, I'll be faced with a decision like, oh, should I go out with my friends tonight or should I stay home and read a book? And my intuition is telling me, oh, I should probably stay home and read a book. That's what I need right now. That's what will make me the happiest. But my mind says, oh, well, maybe I should go out with my friends. And then I'll logically convince myself some reason for why I should go out. Oh, I haven't seen them in a long time. Oh, it'll be healthy for me to get out and to socialize. Even though my intuition's telling me no, I'll still do it. I'll still go out, and it'll never end up well for me. So really, harnessing your intuition and learning to follow your intuition is all about becoming more connected to your body and really integrating and being aware of how your body is feeling on a moment-to-moment basis. So every single day we are faced with an infinite amount of choices. There's in every split second, you're making a choice. From the second you wake up in the morning, you're already choosing, should I roll over onto my left side? Or should I roll over onto my right side? Should I reach over and grab my phone? When I open my phone, what app should I open? Should I instead maybe grab my journal and start journaling? Should I just not reach over and just get right out of bed and go straight to the bathroom? Should I brush my teeth? Should I floss? So in every split second, there's like an infinite amount of choices that you can make. But normally we're not aware of this because we're kind of living on autopilot, where our old patterns and our old conditioning is kind of unconsciously moving us through our life like a zombie, where we're not actually listening to our intuition at all. We're just doing the exact same thing that we did yesterday and the day before and the day before because we're comfortable doing that. So even if, let's say, you were waking up in the morning and you're going to a job that you hate and you dread going to this job and your intuition is telling you, your heart feeling is telling you, please do not go to work today. This is the last thing that I want to do. I'd rather die than go to my job today. Your intuition's telling you stay home. But still you go because that's what you have to do. That's what you've been doing for years, and you don't really consider alternatives. Now, your logical mind might say, well, Adam, if I don't go to my job, I'm going to get fired, and then I'm going to have no money, and then I'm going to be sleeping on the street, shaking a cup with 2 coins, begging people for handouts. Well, one of the main lessons I want you to take away from this video is that listening to your intuition, which really means listening to how your body feels, which we're going to get into a lot of detail for actually how to do that. When you can listen to your intuition, even if it seems like the wrong decision to your logical mind, and you don't know how it's going to work out. If you decide to stay home, maybe you'll get fired from your job. Maybe you'll end up homeless on the street. That's what your logical mind will tell you. But what if your heart is telling you to actually stay home today and to not go to work and to, leave your boss hanging, and maybe you will get fired. But if your heart is feeling that is the best decision, if that's what makes you feel light and open and relaxed and untensed, if that's how your heart feels when you think about just staying home and chilling out today, maybe open yourself up to the possibility that your intuition is a supercomputer. It's an infinite intelligence that has crunched so many variables that your logical mind could not possibly put together. You might find out that today, if you just stay home and relax and sit on the couch and watch TV, if that's what your intuition is telling you to do, maybe your intuition is telling you stay home from work, instead go out for a walk in nature and just take the day off. Yeah, you might get fired for your job, but that might actually end up aligning your life in a more positive way than you could even foretell, because your logical mind can't see that far into the future. Your intuition can instantly crunch millions of variables all at once. So maybe you'll stay home from work, but then maybe you will get fired from your job. But then maybe 2 days later, since you're not going to work, maybe you end up at a coffee shop because you have no job. So you go to a coffee shop, you have nothing to do that day, you're not working, and then maybe you meet a friend at the coffee shop. And maybe your friend tells you about this other job that he heard about on the radio, and he thinks it'll be a good fit for you. And then you go apply to that other job because your intuition tells you it's a good idea, gets you excited. You get that new job, and all of a sudden, you've just aligned your life into a better career than you were in before. And all of this has to do with following your heart and following your feelings. Now, I know, guys, I know that this sounds a little bit too good to be true, a little bit difficult to believe. Well, oh, okay, Adam, if I just follow my heart, then, and something bad happens and I end up, in a ditch, then I'm going to blame you for giving terrible advice to not listen to my logical mind and instead just follow my heart like some kind of hippie. Well, in this video, we're going to be explaining exactly how and why this works in many different practical examples, so you really start to understand that in every situation in your life, if you follow the choice that feels good, even if it's not something that you're used to doing, it's not something that maybe you've done before, maybe it's something completely new. Maybe you go to the clothes store to buy some new clothes for yourself, and you're holding up two shirts. So this is our first example of using intuition. You hold up two shirts, right? One shirt is green, and normally you don't like wearing the color green. It's just not your color. You've never worn that color before. But for some reason today, green is just, this shirt is really calling you. You really want to buy it. Just your whole body is feeling good when you hold this shirt, when you try it on in the dressing room. It just makes you feel good. It makes you feel light and awake and cool and calm and confident. It makes you feel good. Whereas what you would normally buy is just a plain white shirt like I'm wearing today, because that's just what you're comfortable wearing. That's the shirt you always wear, and your last white shirt got soiled, so you need another one. So in this case, if you look at that plain white shirt, you might not feel good. You might feel like you're a little bit tense, a little bit tight, like, I don't really want that shirt. It's boring, it's dry, it's just not really lighting me up. It's not really doing much for me. Whereas this green shirt makes me feel amazing. But in some cases, you might logically convince yourself, like, oh, this green shirt is not my style. I've never worn green before. Maybe my friends will make fun of me. Maybe my grandmother might, tell me that this shirt doesn't fit me properly. The point is here, choose the shirt that makes you feel the best. And every single time you wear that shirt now for the next year or two, you're going to feel good. Every single time you put it on, you're going to feel good. Even if you've never done this before. So let's go into some other examples. Following your intuition when choosing what to do on the weekend. So it's Saturday, you haven't made any plans yet. Now you have a couple options. I could perhaps go to a party with my friends that are inviting me to. I could go take a walk in the park. I could stay home and watch a movie. I could call my girlfriend and go out to eat at a restaurant. So in order to follow your intuition, before you make a choice or a decision, just take a second to pause and to consult your body. How does my body feel? How does my gut feel? How does my heart feel when weighing these options? So what you can do is hold in mind the possibility of going out to eat at a restaurant, and how does that feel? Okay, maybe your heart feels a little bit tight, a little bit closed when you think about that. Maybe your stomach kind of closes off and feels tense, like just really tense. Maybe you might say, okay, well, that's not the best decision for today. There's no logical reason for why you shouldn't go to the restaurant, just because it just doesn't feel good. It makes your stomach feel tense. Okay, let me think about going for a walk in the park. And that just might not feel right. Maybe it just feels very flat, very dry, not very exciting, just it doesn't feel relaxing. It just feels boring and kind of useless. Okay, so that might not be the right decision. Now hold the possibility in your mind of going out and partying with your friends. Maybe this possibility makes you feel open, makes you feel like you can let loose and you can enjoy your life. Maybe you're really excited to go to this new club that your friends have been talking about. Okay, so since this option feels the best, that's the option that you take. What about when you're picking a restaurant? So which restaurant should we go? Should we go eat Chinese food? Should we go eat Indian food? Should we go eat Greek food? What restaurant should we go to tonight? Now, many people will check the reviews and see, okay, which restaurant's rated the highest, right? There's some logical reason. Maybe you say to yourself, oh, I've been vegan, I've been vegetarian for the last couple months, and I can't go to any restaurant that doesn't have vegetarian options. Okay, well, what if for some reason this meat restaurant feels the best? What if it's like a Brazilian steakhouse? You hold it in your mind and you consider, oh my God, this Brazilian steakhouse, this is the one that excites me the most. This is the one that makes me feel open and loose and happy when I think about going there. See, many people will make the decision about what to eat from a logical place of where, oh, I watched a YouTube video that told me that meat is bad for me, that there's not enough micronutrients in meat, and this, that got me onto this new diet that, it's kind of difficult for me to maintain, but I'm on this diet because I want to lose weight, because I don't like the way that my body looks. So there's this whole logical reasoning of what food I should eat. You're sitting at the dinner table with your family and there's all these different food options. There's potato salad, there's steak, there's crackers and cheese. What do you eat? What food do you go for first? Many people won't even consider what their body wants. They won't ask their body, hey, body, what do you want to eat right now? What is the most appealing to you? Many people will just eat the food that they've always eaten, the food that they're comfortable eating, the food that is in their rigid diet plan. What I recommend next time you sit down to eat at the dinner table, just pick the food that you want to eat, regardless of if you think it's healthy for you or unhealthy, or whether you've had it before, or whether you should eat this food. It's this following your intuition is not about what you should do or what you would like yourself to want. Following your intuition is about what do you actually want in truth. So when you ask your body, really what we're asking the question here is, what do I want? What choice here, what path would make me feel the best? Many times when we make decisions in our lives, we're not actually choosing from our heart. We're choosing from our mind, from some kind of logical, preconceived idea of what I should want. So when you wake up in the morning and you ask yourself, okay, what do I want to do right now? Do I want to stretch? Or do I want to go to the gym and do an hour-long workout? Or do I want to just go on my phone? What do I want to do? Consider all these options. Think about going on your phone and then feel how that affects your body physiologically. Okay, maybe it feels a little bit tight, a little bit tense, a little bit distracted, uneasy, restless. Okay, so phone is a no because it doesn't feel good. Okay, what if I want to go to the gym and do an hour-long workout? Oh my God, that's a hell no. I definitely don't want to do that. Okay. What if I just want to do a light stretch just for 10 minutes, just kind of move my body in ways that just feel good. Just want to stretch my body out a little bit. Okay, that feels like the best option. Let me just do that. Now, what many people will do is their mind will come in and say, well, I've been trying to gain some muscle. I've told myself that I need to discipline myself to go to the gym. So really what I need to do is I need to fight against myself. Even if I don't want to go, I should go anyways. This is a very, very popular mentality. Discipline. You should do the things you don't want to do because somehow that will lead you to the result that you want. Now in this video, I really, really want to hammer home this point. In order to get what you want in your life, you do not need to do things that feel bad, and you don't need to do things that are against what your heart is telling you you should do. Now, I'm not saying that in order to achieve your goals that you're never going to have to step out of your comfort zone. Sometimes your heart will naturally lead you to go to the gym or to step out of your comfort zone or to make a website or to do something uncomfortable. In that case, yes, follow your heart and step out of your comfort zone. But this kind of discipline mentality, this hustle mentality, the grind culture, this does not work. You don't need to grind to achieve your goals. You don't need to go against yourself. You don't need to work 14 hours a day. That will actually leave you feeling empty and hollow. And when you feel empty and hollow, you can't achieve anything in your life. So really, consider the possibility that if your heart and your body's telling you, hey, let's not work today, let's take today off. Okay, so you should probably take today off. There's nothing wrong with that. Shift your paradigm to think that, oh, maybe if I take today off, then something unexpected might happen that will actually help me with my career or my business. Sometimes taking the day off or the week off actually helps your business grow because it helps you to relax, helps you to let go. And when you can relax and you let go and you're not so involved, you're not so attached to the outcome, then you can see new perspectives. Some new thing that you didn't consider before will pop up. So let's talk about using your intuition when choosing what book to read. This is just a very practical example. When I look at my bookshelf, what I used to do when I first began my personal development journey is I would read books that I think that I should read, that I feel like I need to read this book, otherwise I won't be intelligent enough, or I won't have enough credibility when I speak on the camera. But what I've been doing for maybe the last few years is when I go to read a book, I will only read a book if I'm genuinely interested in reading that book right now. This is the exact book that I want to read. So I'm not reading books that I think I should read, like, oh, maybe I should read more about business, or I should read more about history. See, what I do now is I ask my heart, what book do you want to read right now? What book will make you happy? What book will make you feel good? And then you just pick that book and read that one. And then when my heart is telling me, okay, Adam, stop reading, you're done for today, even if I only read one page, I'll say, okay, I'm done for today. So really, this attitude that I'm trying to illustrate here in this video is whenever you're forcing yourself to go against what you naturally want, you're in delusion. That will not work. Life is actually a lot simpler than we are led to believe. You do not need to fight against yourself, nor do you need to fight against life to achieve your ideal income, or to achieve your ideal relationship, or to achieve your ideal spiritual state of awareness. You don't need to do 10,000 hours of meditation work in order to become enlightened. Maybe you actually need to do less work. Maybe you need to let go more to become enlightened. Maybe you need to realize that if you want to become enlightened, spiritually awake, you don't need to put that off into the future of like, oh, once I meditate 10,000 hours, then I'll be enlightened. What if you realize that you can actually be enlightened right now? And actually, the less work that you do to get enlightened, the more you'll actually harness your natural state. You'll realize that enlightenment is the natural state. Enlightenment is just awakened awareness. And you can awaken your awareness in any moment. It's here. It's present. The best way to do that is actually by letting go of the need to get things in the future. 99% of human beings spend most of their life just trying to get things in the future. But what I've found for me, that when I sit to meditate, for example, and I let go of the need to get a result in my life, then that is actually what ends up making me feel so good. Just letting go and doing nothing. Letting go of the need to do stuff will actually end up, in many cases, making you feel a lot better, more embodied, more abundant in your heart. If you can feel happy just relaxing, sitting down, and just letting go in any moment, you can feel really, really good by just letting go and dropping the need to get something else. That's ultimate abundance. And from that place, now you can actually take the most effective action. From a place of internal wealth and abundance, from a place of non-neediness where I'm not lacking something, but there's nothing I need to get. I just let go and I'm enlightened. Wow, it's fucking amazing. That is ultimate abundance, and that's what you want. You don't need to go get it. You don't need to chase after it. You just need to receive it right now. Receive the relaxation that is actually present in every single moment. By doing that, then your life will end up aligning properly. See, in a weird way, we actually kind of hold ourselves apart from our goals by continually being in motion, by always needing to chase after something, feeling like, oh, I should be doing something right now. You know that feeling? Oh, you know what? I really should be doing something right now. And then you get anxious that you're not doing enough to achieve your goals. Now, guys, your goals are actually not going to be the result of your actions. Your goals, in a really weird way, are achieved a lot quicker and a lot more effortlessly based on your state of feeling and your state of being. So when we're talking about following your intuition, really what we're talking about is always choosing the thing that will make you feel the best in every single moment. Things that feel good will make you more confident. They'll make you more conscious, more awake, more abundant. Story, for example, when I was choosing a restaurant this was 2 weeks ago with my girlfriend, we were going to go get some Asian food, some Vietnamese food, but on the way to the restaurant, I drove by an all-you-can-eat sushi restaurant, one of the best restaurants in the area that I live. And I've never been there before because actually I've only been one time, but it was too expensive. It was like $100 for one person. So I normally wouldn't go there. Normally I would go to eat out at a more affordable restaurant. But for some reason on this one day, I felt a very strong urge to go to this all-you-can-eat sushi restaurant. I held the two options in my mind. The regular restaurant that I've always been to, the Vietnamese restaurant where we get noodle soup. I love it, but today for some reason the sushi restaurant felt a lot better. Even though it was super expensive and I didn't want to pay $100 for two people to eat dinner. I just wanted to pay like $10 for dinner. But for some reason, I decided to follow my heart. I went to the sushi restaurant. We had an amazing meal. My girlfriend and I felt super abundant while we were eating and even after we finished eating. And then the next day, my girlfriend had a sales call with one of her first potential coaching clients for her new program. And she was very excited and a little bit nervous to talk to this potential client so that she can sign her up for her program. And she told me that she actually ended up making the sale, her first sale she's ever made, and she felt really good because she felt very abundant. Because a big part of that was the fact that we went to that amazing, expensive sushi restaurant the night before. So in a weird way, we ended up making the money back like 100 times because we made the decision that didn't make logical sense. It wasn't in the budget, but it was in my heart's budget. That's what my heart wanted to do. So we did it, and it ended up working out in the end tenfold. So the lesson here is actions that feel good will always produce more good feelings. Whereas actions that don't feel good will always produce more feelings that don't feel good. So if you feel like you need to go to work, you don't want to go to work. You fucking hate your job. But I need to go to my job because I need money. Then your life will actually continually produce more and more lack because you're taking action out of lack. You're going to go to work. You're going to hate being there. You're going to be angry and exhausted. You're going to come home. Your soul is going to be drained of energy, and you won't be able to contribute anything meaningful to other people's lives. You won't be able to cultivate your gift to share it with other people because you don't feel confident in yourself because you're trading your time for low amounts of money that you don't actually like being there. You're spending your time doing stuff you hate. So you don't feel confident, you don't feel good about yourself. You can't provide the maximum amount of value to this world, and then you won't be able to make the money that you want. another example of following your intuition is choosing your career. Many people won't allow themselves to go after what they actually love because they have some kind of logical, practical concern. Oh, if I pursue my painting passion, then I won't be able to make enough money. Nobody wants paintings anyways. Why would anyone pay me to paint? That just doesn't make any practical, logical sense. That's not what I was raised to believe. That's not what I am fed on my YouTube feed or whatever. But whenever we're making decisions in life, it's important that we always are choosing the choice that makes you feel the most alive and excited. So for example, when I go to make a video, right, I'm not necessarily choosing the video that I think will get the most views or the video that I think will, hack the algorithm to blow up my channel. The most important thing is to make the video that I feel the most excited and passionate about making. That's the video that will end up getting the most views at the end of the day. Because there's a positive energy that's here and people gain the most value from it. YouTube doesn't care what video topic you choose. YouTube, right, is actually all about just giving people videos that help them, that they like watching. It's very simple. So the same with choosing your career. I help people do this a lot in my life coaching practice, but when we're picking a career, it's important we put aside practical concerns for not knowing how to actually achieve this career, but just kind of scanning my mind for what would just make me the happiest. If I had $100 million and I didn't have to worry about making money, and I didn't even have to worry about all the practical logistics for how to make this career real, what career would I want to do if I could just snap my fingers and magically manifest it tomorrow? Many people might say, oh, I would be a travel vlogger, or I would be a nature photographer, or I would be a painter, or a singer, or a dancer, or whatever it is. Go after the feeling of excitement. Follow your heart. Follow your intuition. Don't worry about practical, logical concerns. What about moving your body as well? This is something I'll talk about more in my next video, actually. But learning how to move your body in a way that actually feels good instead of moving your body in a way that you think you should move your body because that's what you read on an article about working out. So when we go to the gym, for example, we can become very robotic and we just do the exact same movement every single time. And it's because we're not conscious, we're not listening to our body, we're not listening to our intuition, we're just doing what we've always done. We're just following the same old patterns. How about instead, when you go to the gym, go try doing some exercises you've never done before. Go to the mats on the floor and just go roll around and just stretch your neck and your toes and just move in whatever way feels the best for your body. Not worrying about like, oh, but if I don't get 8 reps of 12, 8 sets of 12 reps, and I don't eat 400 calories, then I won't make the gains that I need. So if you're trying to logically figure out how to make your body healthy and happy, that doesn't work. Your body already knows what it needs to feel healthy and happy. So just follow it. Eat the food that it wants to eat. Do the movement that it wants to do, and let it go. Don't worry about it. Even if you're eating steak and ice cream, right? And you're not working out at all and you're just kind of rolling around on the floor, but that's what feels the best, then you'll actually end up having a much healthier and happier body. See, many people spend their whole life just worrying about like how their body looks. And then they put so much effort into like optimizing their diet, like optimizing their exercise. You know that your body actually knows how to optimize its own diet and its own exercise. All you have to do is just fucking listen to it. Your body knows what it wants. It'll tell you what feels good. Hey, Adam, when we're sitting at the dinner table and there's some chicken over there, even if you've been vegetarian for the last year, eat the fucking chicken because it looks really tasty. I want it. Eat the chicken. Yummy. It's good. Even, it's like, oh, is this organic chicken? Is this chicken hormone free? Okay, yeah, maybe it's not like, organic grass-fed chicken in this particular scenario. Maybe I'm at my parents' house and they don't buy that, or maybe I'm at some other person's house and they don't buy organic chicken, but it looks good. It looks tasty. My body's telling me to eat it. Just eat it and stop thinking about it. Same with, like, what do I say when I go approach a girl at the club, for example? So if I'm learning to date, what do I say? What's the best pickup line? How should I stand when I go talk to her? See, whenever you're trying to logically figure out how to get results in your life, that's important sometimes if you just need some basics. But really, the way to accelerate your growth in your life and to harness the full power of this infinite supercomputer that is your intuition, just do what feels good. See, God is a genius. God designed your body and your energy and your soul and whatever you want to call this whole vessel here thing that's going on. It's designed so intelligently, you could say through millions of years of evolution, billions of years. You could say just through, the oneness and infinity of God's mind. Your body is designed so that what feels good for you is also the thing that will bring you the most happiness and love and fulfillment. Now, that being said, don't hurt other people. So, people might say, well, Adam, if you're just telling everyone to just do what feels good and don't worry about making logical sense, then you're just giving people permission to run amok. They can go rape people, murder people. You might say, well, Adam, well, that beautiful woman on the street, I just wanted to go rape her, so I did. And that's what felt good. So, you gave me terrible advice. Right now I'm in jail. So, if you're actually really paying attention to your body and your intuition, if you hold the thought in your mind of raping another person, you might notice that actually doesn't feel very good. What feels better, maybe, is actually learning how to converse with a stranger so that if you see a pretty girl on the street and you would like to approach her and get to know her, then you'll know how to actually do that. And you can be very natural and intuitive about it, not needing to think about what should I say, what's the best thing to say to get this girl to like me. No, it's not necessary. Just follow your intuition. Just say what feels good. Hi, sorry to bother you. I know this is a little weird, but I just thought you're pretty and I just wanted to know what your name is or whatever. Right? So that kind of energy where I'm not really worried about what I'm saying or doing, but I'm just saying what feels good, that's the most attractive energy. So what about choosing what to buy at the store? I kind of talked about this a little bit. Do I choose, if there's two things I have to buy, maybe I'm buying a chair for my house. One chair is a lot cheaper, but it seems it's bad quality material. And then another chair is more expensive, but it just makes me feel good when I sit on it. It's nice and sturdy, and it looks nice. See, many people, I've done this in the past, I'll just buy the cheaper one. And then it'll sit in my house, it'll break within 2 months, and then I'll go have to buy another one, right? So buy cheap, buy twice, that saying. This is exactly the same for what you're buying at the store. Go after your feelings. Choose what feels right. So you might say, well, Adam, well, my bank account can't handle that. Well, yeah, see, this is a deeper point, but your money situation, a big part of it has to do with how you feel in your body about money and your identity as well. So the version of yourself who is abundant with money, is that version of you afraid to spend a few extra dollars on a nicer chair? See, having more money is really about embodying the version of yourself that has more money. Then you can feel abundant. And when you feel abundant now, even if your bank account is telling you that you're not abundant, right? You only have $20 in your bank account, you can still feel abundant as if you have $1 million. Feeling abundant doesn't have to be just for money. It could be just for your house. Wow, I love my room. I love my neighborhood. I love my family or my roommates. Feeling abundant for what you already have, that will actually end up bringing you more money. So your money situation can change based on how you feel about it. So when you go buy that nice chair and you spend a little bit more for it, that might feel good that you did that. And then since you feel good about your money, more money will actually flow towards you. So what about figuring out what ideas are true or false? So sometimes when people will say something, like someone is giving you a fact, like, oh, did you know that the Eiffel Tower is 300 feet tall? Sometimes if you're very subtle in your awareness and you're very connected to your body in the present moment, this comes with practice and with consciousness work, which just involves being attuned to your body feelings. It's basically what consciousness work is. When someone says something, oftentimes you can tell if it's true or false based on how it resonates inside of you. I know it sounds crazy, you don't have to fact check whether the Eiffel Tower is 300 feet tall. You might just know whether that's true or not based on just hearing it, right? Obviously, you're probably saying, okay, that's not true. But see, did you have to go to Google to go check if that was true or not? Because it could have been 300 feet tall. But no, see, your intuition just didn't resonate. You just didn't feel right. Yeah, I don't think it's 300 feet tall. So when you go Google it, I don't know what the actual height is, but you'll probably find out it's not 300 feet tall. And so your body can actually tell true versus false statements based on how it resonates in your intuition. And this is something you can actually cultivate. It's crazy. I know it doesn't make any logical sense, but when you realize that reality isn't made of physical material objects, but it's actually made of energy and different levels of energy. It's made of frequency, vibration, consciousness. It's made of resonance, right? When something is said and it resonates as true, then you can immediately know if something is true just based on how it resonates inside you. It's crazy. So what about your morning routine? When you wake up in the morning, are you going to do the same rigid routine every single morning, thinking oh, if I can discipline myself, that I've done this before, if I can discipline myself every single morning to take a cold shower, meditate for an hour, and go to the gym, then I will have a successful life. That's important sometimes to discipline yourself. But notice how the best time to discipline yourself is when it feels good to do it. But when it doesn't feel good to do it, then why would you do it? So people with discipline, they'll say, well, the point of discipline is to do the thing even if it doesn't feel good. But I've tried that for years, and I find that that doesn't work at all. And I find that my life actually flows a lot better when I'm disciplined when it feels good, and then when I need to rest and relax and I don't need to go to the gym for an hour, or I don't need to meditate for an hour, then I do that and it actually ends up working out better. So you can even follow your intuition based on when you're choosing thoughts. This is something I do a lot. When I think a thought, like, oh, I need to meditate for an hour today, I test to see how that feels. And then I try an alternative thought. It's like, I'm just going to sit down and relax for a bit. Which thought feels better? I need to meditate for an hour. Or, I'm just going to sit down and relax for a bit. I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm sitting on my meditation cushion and closing my eyes. It's the exact same thing. But one thought is more empowering and more chill and calm. And then another thought is needy and neurotic and anxious and tense. I need to meditate for an hour. I'm just going to sit down and relax for a bit. See, I haven't missed a meditation in a very long time because I'm not hard on myself about it. So now, in the beginning, when I first started meditation, this was like, I was the worst with this. I was like, oh, I have to meditate or else the world is going to collapse. You know, when I would miss a meditation, I would guilt myself. I remember going to my meditation teacher, like almost crying, saying, I'm so sorry. I missed a couple meditations this week. What will I do? You know, fuck, like, did I fail? Am I going to become enlightened now that I missed my meditation? My teacher would just say, hey, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Let's just move on to the next exercise. And I'd be like, what? You're telling me I can make progress in my spirituality without being anal about my meditation? Who would have thought? One of the biggest things we need to let go of on the spiritual path is our attachment to the spiritual path. That's actually probably the biggest thing when newbies begin meditating, or I did the exact same thing. We meditate and we're all tense and tight and we're sitting in perfect upright posture and we're focusing on our breath. And if we get distracted, we guilt ourselves and judge ourselves. There's so much attachment involved there. Just relax. It's okay. Just sit down. It's okay. You get distracted. Don't worry. That's part of the process. And this is true with literally everything in your life. You don't need to be so attached. Just see, like, when I talk about just doing what feels good and not worrying about anything else, there's a certain, like, groundedness and security that comes from that. Because sometimes when I think about, oh, I need to go to the gym every single morning for an hour, I feel like scared. I don't feel secure doing that. It feels neurotic, because neurotic means you're fighting against yourself. But what if I tell myself, hey, Adam, go to the gym if you want to, if it feels good. Go for as long as you want, and do whatever exercise feels good. And don't worry about making gains or putting on weight or being muscular. It doesn't fucking matter. Just go do what feels good. Because, Adam, when you feel good, everything else works out. And I actually end up going to the gym a lot more than most people. And if I don't, who cares? Because I'm doing what feels good. This is really, what we're talking about here is finding the middle way. Your intuition knows how to balance effort and surrender. Sometimes in life, you need to surrender and relax. Just let go. Stop. And other times, you need to actually put in effort. Sometimes you need to do the thing. But the effort will actually come out of your surrender. You can take action in a surrendered way. So right now I'm making a video and that requires effort. I got to set up all this camera equipment. I got to plan my video. But I find it's a lot easier to make the video if I'm relaxed about it and I surrender through the video. I just kind of say what I want. And, I spent this whole week relaxing. I haven't uploaded in a week. I was on a meditation retreat. I was chilling out. I was enjoying my life. And now I'm back and I'm making a video and I'm surrendered. But in the past, I might have been neurotic and say, oh, I need to make a video every single day or else I don't know. Otherwise, my channel won't grow. That's not necessary. I'll show up when I feel good to show up, and you guys will like that too because I feel good. So it's a win-win. I show up when I want to, and when I do show up, you guys get the most happy and relaxed and abundant version of Adam, and that's enjoyable for you. Unless it's not, then I don't know why you stayed so long throughout this video. Go do something else. All right, so yeah, those were a bunch of examples, practical examples of like how to follow your intuition. Really, in every split second in your life, we're trying to just do what feels good. Here's some tips for following your intuition. First of all, if you want your intuition to be a lot clearer and a lot easier to follow, because sometimes we don't even know what the best decision is, which decision feels right. If you find like your intuition is kind of muddy or cloudy or like you can't really, you're not connected to it, just take a pause and slow down. Sometimes in life, we need to land before we can take off. So really, but sometimes we feel like we just need to always take action. We're always busy, always in motion. Sometimes you just need to pause. And then once you pause, you'll get more clarity. Then take action from a relaxed state. Never, ever, ever take action from a place of neediness, from a place of lack. If you're afraid or scared or angry or just like, if you're taking action to avoid some negative thing, that will never work. That will always end up creating more lack and negativity, because in life, all your results depend on your state of being. And I know people hate to hear this advice if they're they want to achieve their goals and they want to be productive and they want to maximize their sales in their business or whatever. They'll say, "Oh, Adam, oh sure, yeah, my results depend on how I feel." Okay, that sounds like some hippie new age nonsense. But if you're actually a little bit more conscious of your life and you observe the patterns of what happens, for the next year, observe when you take action from a place of neuroticism and neediness, how does that action end up working out for you? Is that effective action? But when you take action from a place of calm and bliss and abundance and peace and relaxation, how is that action? Is that effective action? So really, I'm talking about taking effective action. And the only way you can do that is if you feel good internally. You can't take effective action if you feel like shit. It won't work. One of the best ways to do that is to be in your body. So I do have other videos about this, but just take some time, go on the grass, take your shoes off, stretch your body, move around, twist, bend, just do whatever you want. Do what feels good. I'm gonna make another video about that, called "How to Do Conscious Body Work," where we'll talk about that more in depth. Also, another tip for following your intuition is being open to receiving life, as opposed to always trying to enforce yourself onto life, or like chasing after something, going after something. See, this energy of like going to get something, it's egotistical energy, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what we do when we're in the kind of vibration of the world self, or just like the ego. That's okay. That's how we get things done sometimes in the world. But if you want to be more connected to the infinite supercomputer that is hidden in your pocket and you're not actually taking full advantage of it, if you want to take more effective action to actually get the thing that you want, stop trying to get it first and just be open to receiving whatever is present. Whatever body feelings, sights, sounds present themselves, receive your life, as opposed to kind of chasing after certain events. Just receive what's present. That'll help you connect to your intuition a lot. Be present. That's the next tip. Meditation helps a lot with that. I've talked about that ad nauseum on my channel. Vipassana, letting go, these kinds of meditation practices that will help you boost your intuition a lot. Also, trust your gut feeling. Whenever your gut is telling you something and you feel tense and tight about a certain thing, don't do that thing. Just relax. Let go of that thing. If it makes you feel tense and tight and worried and neurotic and anxious and afraid, don't worry about that. Drop that. If your gut feels loose and open and relaxed, continue down whatever path you're going. So if you're holding a thought that makes you feel tense, try pivoting to a different thought, an alternative thought that feels better, more loose, more flowy and open, more accepting. And another tip for following your intuition is just trust that whatever action you take, even if you don't know how it's going to work out, if your heart is telling you to do something crazy, like to take a plane to a different country, trust that it will work out, and trust that something unexpected will happen, and that it'll all line up in the end, because your heart is an infinite supercomputer. It's already crunched all the data for you. All you have to do is trust it and follow that path. All right, guys, this was how to harness the full power of your intuition. This is something that takes time. It takes practice, just learning to go with what feels good and trusting your body, and not always having to worry about every decision that you're making and being anxious and neurotic, but just letting go and trusting and accepting life, just doing what feels good and not having a second thought about it. That's how you live the most happy, most fulfilled life. If you want to become a highly developed human being, if you want to reach really high levels of spiral dynamics or ego development, if you want to reach really high levels of consciousness and awakening, that's what I'm interested in helping you do here on this channel, then following your intuition is really the main thing you're going to notice start to happen naturally. So as I've been on this path for over 6 years, I've witnessed myself change from someone who was very logical and attached and neurotic about every single decision that I made to someone who is very open, flowy, and intuitive. And most of the things I say, do, think come from my feelings, not so much from my logical mind. And over time with this work, your mind and your feelings will actually start to integrate each other and they'll merge, where your mind and body, you'll realize they're not separate. There's no separation from your thoughts and your body feelings. From your body and your mind, these things are actually one thing. And they integrate, they become harmonious, they work together. Whereas in most people's lives, their mind is fighting against their body, and that creates a lot of suffering, which is unnecessary, kind of keeps you trapped in a low state of consciousness. So on this channel, I'm helping you raise your consciousness, helping you awaken to higher levels of being and understanding life. This will help you be more effective in your life, in your business, your relationships, your health. And plus, it'll just help you appreciate life a lot more. You can actually squeeze the full juice out of every single moment, every single life experience that it presents itself. You can learn how to receive it fully and just really become one with life. And this is bliss. This is abundance. And this is what we're moving towards here on this channel. That's all I had to say today. I'll see you in the next one.